Congratulations on this thing. Did you think you had a chance with about 70 laps into it?
Well, I don't know about 70 laps into it. I thought, you know, we had a top 5 car, and at that point we had to still make a lot of adjustments. We were loosening and tied off the first run, and the second run we kind of over-adjusted on the car, and then as we got towards the end, we got the car back adjusted right and started running the 16 back down, and I don't know what happened to him, but he just pulled off. So I think he thought he had a flat or something was going wrong. But
did you notice you were creeping up on him,
up on him?
Okay.
We were gonna catch him for sure.
He's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I know I had him anyway.
Well, catching him and passing him is two different things.
That's
but you never know what's gonna happen. But we were probably gonna for sure catch him.
And what the guys were saying on ESPN2 was Biffle should have gone one more lap to really see if that tire was flat.
Yeah.
As opposed to coming in and going, oops.
Easy to say sitting up top.
It is. I was going to say, a couple of weeks ago at Los Motor Speedway, I was covering the pits for PRN, and you had tire problems, and I was listening in on the scanner, and you're telling Todd Barrier, you know what? I know it doesn't look flat, but tell me I'm driving the, trust me, I'm driving the thing. It's got a problem. I mean, you don't want to stay out on the track when you feel something like that.
Well, it's kind of a catch-22 situation. I mean, if the tire's flat, you wind up tearing up the car, but if it's not flat, you wind up giving away most of your day. So if your car is good enough to come back and be able to make up ground, that's one thing. But if you're 5th to 15th or somewhere in there, it's hard to get those 2 laps back. If you get 1 lap down, usually you can make up your time. But it's just you have to make a judgment call, and you never know. A lot of times you know whether you're right or wrong, but sometimes you miss.
You know what? You've won this race 3 years in a row now. 4 Busch wins at Texas, which makes you our winningest Busch driver here, by the way. And now you move up to 2nd on the all-time Busch wins list behind Mark Martin. Yeah. I mean, heck of a weekend, heck of a day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just to be up there with Mark Martin and Sam Art and Jack Ingram and all the guys that made this series what it is today. I mean, what can you say? It's almost hard to believe that we've been to Victory Lane 32 times over the past 6 or 7 years. So it's
huge.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to understand the accomplishments that everybody at RCR has been able to put together with the 2 and the 21 car and the 29 car, and God knows how many races they've won as an organization, as in the Busch organization. It's a bunch.
Well, when you go over to RCR, there's one building over there that's got a ton of banners hanging everywhere, and we know RCR has been to Victory Lane many, many times, but you can really appreciate it when you see all these banners. And really, if you look at the banners just from last year alone, 2006, all the races you won in the Busch Series, the Cup win, everything. I mean, RCR is definitely the team that you need to be with.
Yeah, over the past couple of years, just on the 21 car, I think we've won 15 races. So it's in 2 years. Last year was just an incredible year to be a part of, and really, go out and win a championship and win 9 races and finish in the top 5, top 10 every single week. It's nice to ride that wave while it's up and be a part of it.
But Kevin, how tough is it? You're actually racing against one of your cars as well, whether it's Stewart behind the wheel or whoever you've got behind the wheel. How hard is it? Like, let's say you guys are going for the win. Would you ever lay back and go, sorry, Richard, but my car's got to win?
No.
No, you'd knock your car off the track, wouldn't you?
I did that in Montreal, so.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a pretty conversation after we got home. My wife was mad at me, but it's one of those things where there's 2 different agendas there. The 33 and the 77, they're still really young teams, and Stewart's been a big part of building that what it is to this point. And next year I get to drive it 20 times. So we've been trying to build that team, and it just takes time. It took us 5 or 6 years to get the Truck Series team to be able to race for a championship, and those are our goals with the 33.
Speaking of the trucks, now how are you going to keep Hornaday and Jack Sprague out of each other's face in 2008, Kevin Harvick?
Teammates next year.
Yeah,
2 of the biggest boxers in NASCAR.
There's a picture of them from this track duking it out a few years ago.
Well, a friendly rivalry always makes people push each other to their maximum capacity as competitors. So I think they'll push each other very well. I think they're both going to drive hard and race hard, and we expect them to race each other hard as long as they don't want to have total in each other's trucks.
All right, last night after the Silverado 350, I went back over to my office, and Speed was replaying the Truck Series race, and I'm watching the pre-race where you made the announcement with Chris Devoda that you hired Jack Sprague for your truck team to be a teammate with Hornaday, and Jack is standing there, they're interviewing him, and they're both laughing because they said when you started in trucks driving the 75, he goes, Man, we used to mess with him so bad, and now he's our boss. What did they do to mess with you?
Yeah, well, they, you know, I always race those guys really hard, and I don't know necessarily that they actually messed with me. I was probably 22 years old, so I didn't really care. I just go out and run into everything, so it didn't matter to me. I just run over them all. So it's,
they're old parts anyway,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You're the young one.
We'll probably definitely have the oldest average age of the team in Truck Series.
Nice.
So I'm good with it though. They both still drive the heck out of the trucks.
Geriatric sponsor on the side of one of the trucks.
Yeah, we might enter a whole different market for sponsorship.
Depends.
Yeah.
Could you see
Oh
what if Sprague's or Hornaday's trucks parked outside of an old folks' home with like an appearance or something?
Oh my God.
Could you see that? The senior assisted living home. We're having fun, Crash.
But if these aren't jokes that he's not going to pass right along to those two guys.
Actually, that's so true.
You know, speaking of the success of Kevin Harvick Inc., I learned a new stat this weekend, and that is that we saw Tony Stewart in this Busch race here today, driving for Joe Gibbs, not for KHI. He's won a lot of Busch races, but none for Joe Gibbs. He's won them all for you.
Yeah. Well, that's you know, that's part of what we've been fortunate to have Tony as part of our team to be able to build it into what it is today, and it hasn't performed as well as I thought it should perform this year. It's better than it was last year, but I really thought it was going to take another step up. So we're you know, we're going to kind of step back next year. We're going to have one full-time team and one part-time team, and just try to just make everything focused going forward. So the two trucks are gonna run full-time. So we'll take that one part-time team and make it a Busch team, and the part-time team will go to a full-time team. So we'll have the same number of teams, just gonna refocus a little bit.
Do you think what is a potential to happen in the Busch Series, how they might, in 2009 and beyond, start with not paying points to the full-time Cup guys? What do you think of that as you race in both series?
Well, you know, I think Memphis was a disaster. It was a tough race to watch. So I think there's a mix in there of what the number of Cup drivers need to be, and I think if you support the series and you run every week, I don't know. I don't know that you should penalize somebody for racing in a series every week. I mean, Carl's run every week. We ran every week last year. Clint ran every week. But if you don't show up, I think it's probably a good idea to not give those guys points and not let them race for the championship. I mean, I think we're second or third in the points and have missed 9 races. So it's
wow.
Yeah. You know, look at the number of races, and when you see Kevin up there, it's like whoa.
Yeah. So you know, that to me is not fair to everything that's going on, and I think you need to be. If you're in the Cup Series and you want to support that series every week, that's one thing. But if you're a part-time guy, I don't think you need to be racing for points.
How would you feel? I mean, being a Busch Series owner. I mean, you've got, you know, your Busch Series budget. You're going up against these, you know, I mean, $100 million budgets when you look at the entire team of an RCR, of a Roush Racing, whatever it may be. You're going up against those teams. I mean, would it be better if we just didn't put the Cup owners in the Busch Series?
I don't know that you want to do that either. I mean, it's something to, you know, you got to be careful about the car count and the number of cars that you have in the garage. You still need to have enough stuff to have a competitive race, and the Busch Series is still very competitive, and it still has a lot of cars show up in the garage. And so I think you don't want to push all those guys away, and they're starting to make rules of, you know, on the brakes and the bodies and things like that are trying to contain the cost. As long as the cost doesn't keep elevating, it's one thing, but if it does, you know, it's going to keep running the smaller team cost. So, you know, as a part-time or a full-time Busch Series owner, not being associated with the Cup team, I mean, it's hard, and you know, it's definitely different to get everything that you need and get the right team.
Is it more gratifying when you can win, though?
I don't know. Still, the driver still drives me. It's very gratifying. I know it's more nerve-wracking to watch those dang things drive around. So it's definitely harder on your nerves.
Kevin Harvick, congratulations on your 4th win at Texas,
Thank
3rd
you.
win in a row here in the
Appreciate it.
O'Reilly
Thanks.
Challenge. I mean, great to see you in Victory Lane, and we appreciate you stopping by the way.
No problem. Thanks
I
for
know.
having me.
I was expecting to see a Richard Childress, some sort of a wine bottle though, but instead I can smell that Busch beer.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
They doused you.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow
Thanks, guys.
in the Dickies 500 in the Shell Pennzoil.
Hopefully we're in the same spot.
All right.
There
that
you
sounds
go.
Yeah,
awesome.
sitting right
And we'll
there.
see you right here.
Sounds good. Thank
By
you.
the way, I don't